My name is Tom Landis. I am the superintendent of York City Parks, Recreation, and Sanitation. I grew up on in Kanawha Avenue, which is located in Park Village, over there in the Devers Elementary School area of the city of York, right off of Parkway Boulevard. Growing up, I have to say that I actually had three favorite parks. It's because they were in very close proximity of each other. Lincoln Park, which is now Grosse Park, Noonan Fields, and Kiwanis Lake. Reason why these parks were my favorite parks was due to the close proximity to my home there on Kanawha Avenue and the different recreation elements and nature elements that those parks had to offer. I have three very fond memories to share with you today. At Lincoln Park, there was definitely the creek where my friends and I would spend countless hours in the creek fishing for crawfish and catching minnows with nets. There used to be a rope swing that was attached to a willow tree that grew there along Willis Run, and we were allowed and were able to take that rope swing and swing from one side of the creek over to the other. Of course, the summer playground program was extremely important to me as well as the rest of the youth in the city of York. Back in the late 70s and the early 80s, the summer playground program was offered in the morning and in the afternoon hours. And of course, box hockey was my favorite activity to do in the summer playground program at Lincoln Park. Noonan Fields, simply because my sister and I were very involved in Boys Club sports. Back then, Noonan Fields was called Boys Club Fields. My father was a coach, so in the summer during the evenings I would play baseball, and then in the fall on the weekends my sister would cheer for the Boys Club football program. And then lastly, Kiwanis Lake, again in very close proximity to my home and to Noonan and to Grosse Park. Simply a reason for Kiwanis Lake was the nature that Kiwanis Lake has to offer. Being able to go down there and fish, observe the ducks and turtles was always really cool. While growing up in the late 70s and early 80s, Kiwanis Lake used to have two resident swans that were pretty famous for the city of York. It was very common to see them out and around the lake. City residents would go over and enjoy watching them and feeding them. They actually were mute swans, which as of today we no longer have swans on the lake. And one also can't talk about Kiwanis Lake back in the 70s and 80s without mentioning the beautiful fountains that used to stream off the island that were lit up at night in various colors. It was always a simple sign that summer was here in the city of York. And obviously my fond memories of those areas. As far as favorite parks as an adult, I would have to say that Farker Park and Kiwanis Lake would certainly serve as that park. The amount of nature that is within our urban setting is phenomenal, with the egrets and the herons, various waterfowl, birds of prey such as greyhorn owls, red-tailed hawks, kingfishers, blue herons, and of course there are turtles there at the park that people are able to enjoy. My wife and I, we actually got married in the Farker Park gazebo. There are thousands of trees, or hundreds of trees in the park there at Farker and Kiwanis Lake. And today, myself and a few of my friends, we host the annual trout fishing derby, the William Schaefer Trout Fishing Derby at Kiwanis Lake. We've done it for 27 years, and it has served thousands of kids in the York City community. Well, playing in the parks throughout the city as a child at the time, I never could have imagined how it would impact me as an adult and the career choices that I have made. When I was a kid growing up in the city, parks were a place where I would hang out and play with friends. It was also a place to go when your parents told you it was time to get out of the house in the summer. Because I spent most of my childhood growing up in the park system, I truly understand the significance of our parks of our park system and the roles it plays in the development of our city youth. Our city parks serve as a hub to almost every city neighborhood here in the city of York. In fact, when our city park system was being developed, it was very important back in the day to make sure that there was at least one city park that was within walking distance to every children's home growing up here in the city. The city's park system is more than just a space for playgrounds and basketball courts and where kids can go burn off energy. Our park system's playgrounds have been selected and installed in a way that promotes learning and thinking and imagination and creativity. Through play, children can develop and enhance motor skills, are able to exercise and begin enhancing their socialization skills. As a superintendent of the City of York and York City Parks and Recreation, for the past 36 years, I take my role very seriously, making sure our park system is clean, well-maintained, and safe for all residents to enjoy. And lastly, what park would I recommend to encourage families to go and visit and why? Again, I would go back to Farker Park and Kiwanis Lake. And just for the simple reason, you get the total experience of what the York City Park System has to offer. We have playgrounds, we have athletic courts, we have pavilions, we have gazebos, we have exercise equipment and walking paths. A park that is surrounded by hundreds of trees. You have nature, all kinds of nature, all within a 34-acre parameter.